Good day, everybody. For everyone who doesn't know who I am, or just knows me through Facebook as the Casual Word or on the YouTube channel Casual Word, my name is Langley Shazer, and I am a part of Bristol, Virginia. And I just want to thank everybody for being out today. This is a much larger group of people than I anticipated, and I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for being out here in support of your community, in support of your law enforcement, and everything we're trying to accomplish with the Voices United movement. And all that is that we need to come together and we need to stand as one people, and that's the human race. So, we are here today because we realize that the preferences and the attributes and the traits that make us all unique, make us all different, can no longer be the things that keep us divided, keep us separated. We have to not only set aside our differences, but we must bury them for good. We have to look in the mirror and we have to decide what kind of people that we are going to be going forward. We know that there is a race issue. We know that there is poverty and homelessness, and we know that there is inequality. There is corruption. We know that there is violence. We know these things are happening, but the only way that any of these things are going to change is if we do. We cannot stand here and stand idly and allow our country to be torn apart from the inside out just because everyone lives a different lifestyle, or we believe something different, or we dress different, or we're from a different area of the world. We have to come together. We have to stand united, and we have to become one nation under God, which is what our pledge talks about. We are supposed to be indivisible, and right now we are divided beyond recognition. So we must rectify that problem. It starts with us. It starts with each individual person. It starts in your heart. It starts in your home. It starts in your neighborhood. It starts in your community, your school, your churches. We have to be the ones to initiate and be agents of change. We have to be the change that we want to see happen in our nation. If we are to see progressive change, if we are to see true sustainable change, it must start with us. It must start with each individual person doing their part to do good for as long as they are here on this earth. We must take it upon ourselves to pick up our cross. We must take it upon ourselves to be torchbearers. We must take it upon ourselves to be a light that people can look toward for righteousness, for justice. People can look for us for help. We must be able to serve one another. We must be able to love one another. We must be able to care for and help everybody that we can, because everybody needs something. No one is perfect, and no one has it all together. And everybody needs something from someone. And you could just be the person to deliver that aid to somebody else. So we must continue to press toward the mark. We must continue to do everything that we can to help everyone that we can while we're here. Because no one is promised tomorrow, and we can't live as though the person that we see sitting on a sidewalk with nothing to eat, we're going to see that person again, because we may not. Today is our opportunity. Today is when we must act. Today is when we must come together and do something extraordinary, that people can recognize that there are groups of people who stand for righteousness, we stand for justice, we stand for peace, we stand against violence of any sort against anybody. And we need to come together and have a voice that can be heard. And the only way that we can do that is if everyone comes together. And so today, I just want to issue a challenge to the individual that you will get up every day with the intent to do good. But then I want you to follow up that intent with action. Likewise, I also want to challenge each community all over this nation to come together, to stand together, to stand with one voice. That voice must say that we will no longer tolerate the violence, we will no longer tolerate the corruption, we will no longer tolerate the inequality, we will no longer tolerate anything that is anything other than goodness and righteousness that we stand for in this country. But it only can happen if we all come together and we all stand united. None of the things that make us different or anything that should be keeping us from being able to care for one another. We are all members of the human race. And now we must seriously consider what that means. We must seriously consider what it means to be part of the human race. And that means that we all breathe the same air. We all have the same needs. We all need food, shelter, water, clothing. And no one should be deprived of that for any reason. But the only way that we can rectify this situation is if everyone comes together and does their part. And not every part is going to be the same. Not everybody has the same task. Not everybody has the same calling. But we all have something that we can contribute. And so we must now put those contributions to work. We must now be the agents of change. We must now be the people that are going to get out and get in our communities and do the help. We must be the people who are going to get out and go to the homeless shelters. We have to go to the hospital. We have to do everything we can to help everybody, because we don't know if we'll ever see them again. We don't know if we will be here to say, man, I should have got to you yesterday. Man, I should have done that the other day. Yesterday I saw somebody. We don't have tomorrow. So without a tomorrow, there can be no yesterday. But we have to think about those things and act in the present. And the present says that we must stand together and we must be people who are willing to put aside our own bias. We need to look in the mirror and do that self-examination and get rid of those things that are not of Christ, that are not of the heart, that are not gifts of the Spirit. We must get rid of those things, and we must act as children of the Most High. And if you don't believe the same way that I believe, that is all right. We still have a charge, no matter what your religious preference is, no matter what your race is, no matter what your affluence, your economic status is, you still have an obligation to serve your fellow man. And we must do that. We have to do that. Right now, I'd like to take the opportunity to just thank our law enforcement. I want to let them know, as a community, that we care about you, we love you, we support you, we are encouraging you. We want you to continue to do the great work that you're doing in your community. Your first responders, your emergency personnel, the same. I also want to thank all of our armed forces, all the veterans, all those who are currently serving. We could not have the rights and the freedoms that we enjoy every day without your sacrifices. So that I say I thank you very much. I would like to also thank everybody who's here again. You all have been fantastic, and I can't tell you enough how important it is to see everybody out here today. I can't express to you in words how thrilled I am and how encouraged I am by the turnout, because each and every one of you can affect somebody else, and that's how a ripple works. So every time that you do something for someone, they can in turn do something for someone else, and before you know it, we're changing the course of history. The only thing we need to be able to do that is ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Let's be extraordinary. Let us be extraordinary today. I want to leave you all with a final thought, and then I'm going to ask Sergeant Witt to come and close us out in prayer. His son's going to come and give us a selection, and while that's going on, I invite everybody here to come and sign our banner. We're going to find something very neat with that. So if you would please come and sign the banner. Hopefully we'll be able to have that on display for everybody to see at some point. But the final thought for you all, something I want you all to ponder on, really take to heart, take it back home, really think about it. It's a quote, and I'm going to read it to you. It says, "But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security." Now, this isn't talking about chaos or anarchy or treason. But what this is saying is that at every level, from the family unit all the way up to the highest level of authority, when there is evil, when there is corruption, injustice, inequality, abuse of power, those who have the ability to do something have a responsibility to act. Those who have the ability to do something to right the wrongs that they are seeing have a responsibility to act. Ladies and gentlemen, that is from our U.S. Declaration of Independence. We have a responsibility to be better people. We have a responsibility to be a better nation so that we can build a better future for future generations. Thank you.
We'll sing before no. So, now I want to thank Langley. Me and Langley's been friends for a while now. We got to know each other a little bit through the fitness community. And, I know he's got a desire to see change in this community. And watching the way he lives his life, seeing his passion for it from ages, it makes me want to do it within the community. With a job that the Lord gave me in law enforcement 16 years. What an opportunity. Christ opened that door for me to be a witness to someone that might be downtrodden. You know, we look at law enforcement as a profession of the heart. What a great opportunity to show Christ. But I want to thank Langley for what he's doing, the community, and everything like that. But we'll take an opportunity to give the Lord thanks. Dear Heavenly Father, we just want to come before you and thank you, Lord, for your goodness and your kindness, God. We know in these times, God, that people are asking, where's God? Well, you're still here, and you're still on the throne, God. We know as a nation, Lord, that we need to turn back to you as a whole, God. And it starts with each individual, Lord, searching our hearts, knowing where our hearts are with you, God. Lord, I thank you for these that came out here today, Lord. I pray, dear God, that seeds were sown, Lord, that we can go to our homes and people can just see our light shine bright in this community, Lord, that we can make a difference, God. It starts with one individual having a vision, and others, God, see that vision, Lord, and get on board, God. I really believe, Lord, that this nation going to see a wave of the Spirit. So many souls being saved here lately, God. The revival that's going on at Burlington, Lord, and all those things. For thousands of souls come to know you, God. We thank you for that. God, we pray for this little community here. I love Christian. It's my home. And I pray that God always will be my home. I thank you for it. I pray for all the families, all the schools, teachers, law enforcement, the first responders, God. But most of all, Lord, I pray for just everyone in the community that we'll just get on fire for you, God. Thank you, Lord. Just keep your hands upon it. Help our light shine bright in these dark days. In Jesus' name we pray. We're going to have you come up and sign this. And I think if we do this in 3 or 4 times, we can have people come. I'm going to have my son Noah Quick to come sing this song. Noah, I'm the proud father of 4 children. God's greatest gift to us here on earth is to have his children. Sometimes you question that, but it is. Noah was called to preach at the age of 14. Preached several times at the different churches, and he's just a blessing to me, as like all my children are. So we're just going to have him sing something while we come up and sign this. Thank you guys for coming out. We love all you guys, and just pray for us in the law enforcement community that we can use it as a ministry, first and foremost.
He walks among us, all that he does, all of his mercy and all of his love. If the pen of the writer could write every day, even his words, they can never contain how much I have been blessed. warmth in the winter, flowers in spring, the laughter of summer, the changing of leaves, for food on my table and a good place to sleep, clothes on my back, shoes on my feet. I have been blessed. For arms that will raise, and a voice that can talk, hands that can touch, legs that can walk, for ears that can listen, and eyes that can see. Oh, I've got to praise Him as long as I breathe. I have been blessed, and I have been blessed. God's so good to me. Precious are His thoughts of you and me. No way could I count them, there's not enough time. So I'll just thank Him for being so kind. God has been good, He's so good. I have been blessed. A father and a mother, nurtured and raised, my brothers and sisters, and the memories made. Our pastor to lead us, His altered up praise, stripes that can heal, and a blood that can save. I have been blessed. We live in a country, it's the greatest on earth. Our flag stands for freedom and what it is worth. She stands in a harbor, Miss Liberty calls. All that gave someday it all for me to be blessed. He's my shoulder to lean on when I am down, the rock where He leads me when I'm so overwhelmed, the place where He hides me under His wing. He's not just a song, but He's the reason I sing. I have been blessed. Oh, I have been blessed. God's so good to me. Precious are His thoughts of you and me. No way could I count them, there's not enough time. So I'll just thank Him for being so kind. God has been good, He's so good. I have been blessed.
Thank you all for coming again. Safe travels on your way home. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you.